Hello everyone and welcome to League of Europe Division 4 here, Season 10, Round 10 already, over halfway into the season as we are just loading in, I think. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but we got short qualifying going on the way here with the Hungary and 18 drivers here trying to get it on the way and trying to gain some points in the championship. Speaking of which, we'll have a little run through the top of it, where Major Falcon, after another win, has now got a significant lead there. 163 points he is on. Second place goes to James Heads for 96 points, and third is Energetics at 93. Kevin Cal has decided to throw his toys at the pram, so he's not going to be here for the rest of the season, but he was on 92. It's going to be evaded from the championship, obviously. Bosnia is then fourth on 85 points, with Joe Victor on 81. I'm just going to be underway here in just a second. Six is Ultimate Mr. Pro on 64, Steebans on 62, California 59, so that's a bit of a close fight. And right at the top 10 is Ghost from the UK on 43, and Harry Noirk on 37, who has taken over the full-time seat from Kevin here today. I will try to get on board with the first driver. I do definitely need some water here, so I will be back as soon as I can. Let me see, one of the McLarens is the first one, so at least you have some action to look at for a little bit. As I just try to make it a bit more visible. And I'll be back in about a minute, I reckon. Alright, so I'm back now. Seeing Energetics start at the start of his first lap. 27.4 is a very solid first sector, actually. He's heading, coming through turn 5, 14 current on this track, a very technical track. See, go on board with him now, then towards turn 8. For turn 9, looking up, quite tidy here. As teammate just ahead, we'll probably get out of the way around here. Coming into turn 11, one of the most difficult parts of the track. Down into the last sector, very twisty, tight section here. The 12 into 13, probably the most difficult corner on the track, I'd say. There's definitely a few contenders for that one. As the Dutchman heads for the final corner of turn 14. And opens up the throttle quite nicely, and he's coming off the throttle a bit there, but 16.1 still. Very solid time, I think. We'll see how that's going to fare. We've seen, and James is out on mediums here. His teammate Harry Noirk is coming towards the end of the lap as well, but I think he's just going to start another one after maybe having made a mistake. Given that disease, it's a 17.9. People go again. Jav just in behind that. Joe Victor puts it into P2, about 3/10 off the McLaren of Energetics. California slots into P3, about a second off. And then we see James. Let's see what he can do. He's shown some promising pace, just missing out on the win in Britain last week, about 2/10 he needed. As he had a couple of penalties, and Major Falcon didn't, and he took the win instead. But on the mediums, he puts it into P3. 69 is a very solid lap, so one of the Alfa Romeos is spun. Steban puts it into provisional pole, marginally beaten out his fellow countryman Energetics. Which is very solid time, 16.1, but I feel like we'll see some 15s. Bosnia starting at a lap here as well. Again, because 1:23.7 is not very competitive. Look at Energetics teammate Slayer. Haven't seen too much good from him this season, yeah, although he is somewhat there on pace. And Shona again, 16.8, thereabouts. Goshi K put it into P4 just a little while ago. which is a very solid time. Looking at Mr. Burrow, he's invalid though. Started off the season very strong, but it's kind of faded into the background a little bit. Turning work puts it into P6 right ahead of his teammate. But yeah, the Finn hasn't been right on it for the last couple of races. Maybe he's lost out a little bit of ground in the championship. But still plenty of time to regain, obviously. Still got half a season to go, 9 races. Including 2 sprints as well. And round 12 and round 16 at Abu Dhabi and Kota. So we'll see how that goes. Evo puts it into P11 right there. It's MCFC starting on a lap. The American of goes Recon as well. Coming through the end of sector 1. Let's see how he can do. 27.6, couple tenths off energetics. Big slides coming through turn 4. Very difficult corners. Basically blind into it. He heads it down into the chicane. 6 and 7. Quite decently. You need to flick it around as soon as you can. Stick up a little bit much there for 8 and for 9 as well. Toying with it. Boston has put himself into P3. Under a tenth of the pole time currently. As, the American is coming through turn 12. We're gonna see. Can he beat out his teammates? Axel wasn't P10. Both of them very crash prone, let's say. Especially this season. Maybe they could prove wrong today. Because Recon just ahead of his teammate actually, as well as ahead of California. Into P9 he goes. So a solid time there for the American. Like an MCSC behind. Some very impressive pace in the last couple of races. 17.5. Well, too promising just yet. Seeing Mr. Perro, serial killer, still out on track. As well as people getting ready for the second run. Seen Indian of serial killer coming through turn 5. Mr. Burrows into P13, 17.7. See if we can improve on that later on. Finn just, as a C0, completely cutting the chicane. Now, you can do it. I don't know if it's the quicker way to do it. But the scripts are for use. But you're really risking it that way. And as well as that one there. 7th gear through turn 11 is kind of mental. But he's right on the time of goes Recon. So if he can gain a little bit in the last sector, P9 is in it for him right away. Which would be a very solid start. He's reserving for a swap here, who isn't here tonight. I think he's moving house or something. But the Indian is a reserve. Let's see what he can do. He heads across the line. 79 has lost a little bit in the final sector, I think. But still, definitely some time to improve here. Just looking around his own lap. I think Energetics is on his second run already. He's heading through turn 2. Very difficult corner on traction. You need to really roll through, keep the momentum going. MCC is retired. Peculiar. Let me give a bit of a kind of. So is he just going straight on? What kind of look like? Maybe some I don't know, wheel failure? I don't know if he disconnects. Not too sure what's happened there, but Energetics has invalidated. Just replied something for Division 2. I was in one of the Alpines towards the end of the lap. I think Steven actually just started one. Same with Ghost UK. The Energetic thing going to try to go again. His tires are, actually I can just see on the steering wheel on the bottom right. Just about within the temperature window still. Which is quite decent there. And he keeps that going. It's a big moment. And a big moment for Joe Victor as well, as he puts himself into provisional pole. 16 flat, not quite in the 15s yet, but a good time for the Brazilian. He's shown some amazing pace at certain times, but he hasn't had that ultimate factor to really challenge for Major Falcon just yet. California, I think. He's the sole Williams out here today. So Karkan is not here. So we're going to see if California can get himself into the top 10, which should be possible. Looking at his finishing lap. 69 into P8, ahead of James, one of the Red Bulls. Roger James, 7 tenths up on that medium lap he did before. And yeah, I'll be happy with that. 16 flat into pole position, looking tight up at the front. Seeing these 5 guys so far. Can anyone else get amongst that as well? Jav 17.6, not quite yet. Both Alpines, I think Steven's backed off of his lap and he's come back in. Goshike not improving, just slightly down this time. One of the Mercedes cars that is serial killer once again. I think he's just gonna go back in or maybe go for another lap. Just looking around if you can find any. Major Falcon has finally shown his face on the track as well. He said he hadn't done any laps, had some trouble joining, which is why we're a couple of minutes late, but seems to be right now. And yeah, I think all eyes are going to be on him to see whether he's going to be the one to first break into the 15s. I think it's not unlikely that's going to happen. But, you know, maybe with some lesser preparation, there's a chance that he isn't quite up to the pace yet. So we'll go on board with the German and keep an eye on who's improving throughout as well. This Madden is down into turn 1. Difficult braking zone this. Really messes up badly as well. So traction zone. Definitely capable of having some big snaps. And then to turn 2, which is the only other overtaking opportunity I'd really call out. 4th gear on the exit. Turn 3. Quite nicely flat out. And then heading in towards sector 1 split. 27.4. That's pretty solid on the energetic time. Bit of a snap for 4 though. Yes, first turn 5. Trying to keep it steady there. Into turn 6 and 7. 3rd gear, 4th gear for the second part. Looking to use all the track on the exit there. 5th down to 4th gear once again. And accelerating as one of the McLarens is letting him through there. See the German looking on a solid lap 54.6. Not quite sure where that will bring him. But we're gonna see if he gets through the final sector. Where he can get in the tight line here. Traction zone once again. Quite a difficult one. And into the final corners. Bosnia has put in the professional pole now. 65. What can his teammate do? Not quite up there yet. P6 for now. Has some time to find. But I feel like he will be able to find some at least. Whether it'll be enough, we'll have to see. Suppose also improved there. Have to make sure my throat stays alive. Don't start voice cracking all over the place. You never know. I think it's a little bit of a dull period. Watch Ibo go around the track for now. I've seen actually one of the Alfa Romeos, which is Ghost Recon. So keep an eye on him. See, comes onto the straight. Let's see. This for turn 1. Very difficult track to really nail. Really have to. You really need the confidence here to make sure you get all of the time out of the car. To see if you want to get a big snap for the American there, so it doesn't look too stable. Slightly down this time in the first sector. Big snap. You saw that the last time out as well. I'm not sure if this is going to be the one for him. And then looked like he backed off there. Yeah. Apologies, just trying to settle in. Seen Joe Victor start off his lap. I think he's going to choose to do a bit earlier run, which is an interesting tactic. Get himself out of the traffic though. Let's see if he can improve on that 16 flat. Really using all of it on the exit of turn 3. And slightly down, but it's margin. Oh, he has a big snap for turn 4. Just about keeps it on the track though. And on the exit of turn 5, looks quite steady. Good tracking using the entry curve as well. And on the exit, using all of that curve. Making sure you'll use it. A little bit of lag obviously as a being from Brazil, can't really help that. And now for turn 11, let's see, is he up? 7.5? He could be the first one to go into the 15s. Let's have a look. 4th gear for here. Keeping it nice and steady. Looked like a snap, I don't know if it was one. Heading through 13 and into 14. This should be a very solid lap here for the Brazilian and put them into provisional pole. At least sets a benchmark. Good. Let's see, across the line. He didn't actually improve. Wow. I really would have thought that was an improvement. Guess he lost a lot of time in the last sector, fortunately for him. Let's see if James can do better then. He heads down into turn 1. As he's always already had the privilege of watching Division 1, he'll might have a bit of an advantage, maybe, you know, trying to get the right strategies on, but we'll have to see if he can do that. He's slightly down this time in the first sector, which was already pretty decent, so no surprises there. James heading through turn 5 there. Let's see as we get this. I always hate this camera shot, I don't like it. Can't really see where the car is going, but it's pretty cool in real life at least. Anyway, the Brits heading through turn 9, King of 10, which is completely flat. A bit of a lift through 11. And being slightly down again, he's going to need to find some time in this final sector. Beautiful helicopter shot, I like this, but a lot better, but a big snap might prevent him from actually improving. Let's see, maybe some time in the final 2 corners. See, exits turn 13 and into 14. Into 4th gear, keeping it tight. And across the line, let's see, is it pole position? Yes, it is for now. 59, good last sector then in the last 2 corners, definitely. Circular has retired on track. That's not something we want to see because it can just hinder other people. And I think we'll see that here. Steven, yeah, just gone off. You don't want to see any retirements right on track. Just do it in the pit lane in that case. Goes Recon towards the end of the lap here as well. So there's a minute and a little bit remaining. So we're seeing some disparity in who's doing what in terms of strategy. Goes Recon messing up that timeout. See if Axel, his teammates, can do better then. He heads into the final corner. 4th gear. 17.3 currently. Could it be better now? Into the 60s? Not quite. 17 flat. Gets him ahead of Circular at least. So, could be worse. That's the way to do it. Steven has retired from the session in the pits. Energetics is going to start the lap just about now. As we saw, Slayer going round. He was up on this time, but now in the grass. And that's going to be it for him. He'll be going back into the pits. And just looking around who can improve. Mr. Burr is still trying here as well. Jav is retired in the pits. And Bosnia is going to be, I think, the last one to settle on that, unless James wants to go again, but he's going into the pit. So let's go on board with Major Falcon. He's invalid, so he's not going to improve on his current time. And that'll be it. So all of people already done with their session. Let's see who's and Axel is basically done. Yoshi K looks done in 6th gear. Energetics at 10.5 up. Let's go on board with him. He heads for the chicane. He can still have a go at pole. 10.5 already puts him into P3. A little bit more through sector 2 potentially, heading into turn 11, 6th gear on the throttle already. Nicely done. Half a second up. What a monstrous middle sector there from the Dutchman. Put that time in early. Definitely have the potential. Let's see. He heads into deep into turn 13 onto 4th gear. This could be a great lap, and then it's going to be up to Bosnia potentially to prevent him from getting pole. We'll have to see. The Dutchman across the line, and a 15.5 is an absolutely amazing lap. Let's see if anyone can beat it. Harry Mark is done for the session. California gets himself into P7 with a 16.6. Mr. Perro into P10, 16.8. And Bosnia is going to be the one to do it. 2.5 cents up. Does he have time in the final sector? Let's see. The Aston Martin across the line. Not quite. 15.8. Which solidifies Energetics in pole position with a stunning lap there. 15.5 is great. It is a great lap there. 2.5 cents over Bosnia with James and Joe Victor just in behind that. Stephen in P5. I really find the gap between the top guys currently in this track over the rest of the lot. So we're seeing the results of the qualifying. Let's run you through it. Energetics take a pole position. Bosnia on the front row as well. We'll probably be quite happy with that. James Head in P3. With Joe Victor getting alongside him, and Steban and Major Falcon are champs of the leader in P6. Then California in P7, Go 70 UK in P8. Slayer and Mr. Puro round out the top 10. Then Terry Noir, Ghost Recon, Axel, Serial Killer, MCFC, Jaff, Ibo, and Sinful has not been even out on track, I don't think. So he's going to be starting in 18th and last for today. And we'll see if he can make some ground up in the race. It's loading in. It looks all dry. We're going to see how this is going to go. As the strategy is definitely an interesting one. One subs are usually preferable, but it's definitely an option to go for a 2-stop. I tried for it in D1, but a lot of safety cars prevented it and made it actually a 3-stop in the end. So it is definitely possible. I think the 1-stop and the 2-stop work pretty close together in what way ever you want to do it. I've generally seen the game recommend soft medium. Whether that's the best strategy, we'll have to see. Because I think all of them like pretty close together. And it just depends on the driver getting the best out of the tires. We're going to see what these guys choose for. So just loading and waiting in. See what these guys choose for. Definitely the advantage of fresh tires is something we're going to have to reiterate a lot. So here's the countdown going down towards the formation lap. And we'll be getting underway. That's a bit new. I think I've changed that at some point. Should be the formation lap anyway, lap 0. So, yep. Just seeing everyone go off the grids. Let's have a look at the wildly different strategies. A lot of softs, a lot of mediums, and a couple guys on hards. So, the last ones are James Head and Sinful, who are both on hards, as the only ones in the entire grid. From P3, James Head, that is an interesting strategy. Whether it's going to work, we'll have to see. Worked for just us quite well. A lot of mediums near the top 10. It's not a surprise. A lot of softs near the back. Maybe not a surprise either. Energetics and Falcon are the ones starting on the softs. Energetics needs to make a run for it. That's basically what his strategy needs to be. He needs to try and go as soon as he can. Break the DRS gap to Bosnia. I hope they maybe start fighting a little bit. Joe Victor, Steban, all those lot. And then see what you can do from there. And I wonder what the strategy is going to be for him. It's going to be soft, medium, soft, hard. Maybe 2-stop from here. Definitely all likely. Safety cars will play into it as well. And you can see if the Dutchman can solidify that. And for Bosnia, and probably the rest of the medium runners here, it's going to be sake of just sticking in the train and sticking as close as they can to the lead. For the first stint at least. Major Falcon is going to be case to make up some positions early on. That's maybe why he's picked the softs. And just trying to do this. The AWS graphics say they recommend soft medium or soft medium medium. It also depends on the tire allocation you've obviously chosen. If you've gone softer, you will not have a second set of mediums. So that's out of the window right away. As the drivers are lining up towards the end of their formation lap. We're going to see as well as today, a McLaren on pole in the sprint race. You're going to see a McLaren on pole here in D4. As Energetics is lining up to the grid. Let's see who gets on the way. The best. As obviously we get an awful camera angle. I might honestly nearly go on board with Energetics. I don't know how to change the camera angle. I've got to be honest. If that's a possibility even. I've seen the lights go out at least. We'll have to wait and see who gets on the way. The best 5 red lights are gonna be out right now. Or not. Now we are. That was a long hold, but away we go. Joe Victor's, I think, got a good start as we now get a good camera angle. And yeah, he is ahead of James. And I think James has dropped down quite a significant amount. Has he had a glitch or something? I don't know. You're going to have to see it later on, but he's down into P11. Not a great start from him. Energetics hold on to the lead though. Major Falcons up into P4 with Esteban. California goes to UK fighting it out. So Alfa Romeo's going side by side here as well, coming through turn 3. Who's going to be the better of him? They hold it side by side. Axel backs out of that one. Slayer getting through and goes 70 UK. So he does go off track there. The McLaren holds the position. And look at the front. Energetics, his teammate, is almost a second gun from Bosnia already. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. And he needs to keep doing that. And hope that Bosnia can't leech onto the back of him. The assault at the start can be very good. Let's see who's gained the most positions here. As James has lost a lot. Jav has gone rounds coming through turn 9. And that's going to be it for him. He's going to have to catch back up. Serial Killer and Sinful close together. Serial might have some damage, not too sure. Go back to the front as Major Falcon is pressuring João Victor now on those better soft tires currently. Mr. Pearl and goes Recon side by side, the American and the Finn. As Axel's trying to get in on this as well. And James is just in behind this. I'm not sure what happened to him at the start, but he's that far down. Serial Killer's gone round and we have a VSC. Jav and Serial are both into the pits. Sinful's gone round as well. And he's missing a complete front wing. Doesn't seem to be going into a full score safety car. But some incident at the back there has caused some issues. Some drivers are very close together here. We're going to see how long this lasts for. Gives the drivers a little bit of a breather. And myself as well. So just trying to get a sip of water. Keep the further life. We'll see when this VSC goes in. I don't think even if the VSC lasts to the end, we won't see drivers going in. I even think the Hearts make it to the end from here. Maybe they do, but whether they'll be quick is another question. I thought we were going to go green there. As we do have drive-throughs there, I think Jav and Ibo, as California has got Steven right at the restart. Side by side into turn 12. Who's going to get the better of this? I think Steven's just about going to be able to hold on to the position. Scally still trying to hang around the outside. Very impressive for the Williams. Steven doing the same here in the last quarter. Who's going to get the better of him? And it's California who's got the better exit there. And this might allow Slayer to get closer as well. He's put on the overtake. Steven trying to get back at California down into turn 1. And around the outside goes the Alpine. Has he got enough traction on the exit there though? We're not going to see until they get around here. And I think he does. He's way ahead and into P5, but has lost some significant time. And these guys are all close enough to get Iron Work, and goes Recon touching a little bit there with the fellow countryman of Iron Work just in behind Axel. And then James and MCFC close together for P12 there. This is definitely not the start James would have wanted. I'm 100% sure of that. We're going to have to see if it's going to hold out later. Axel looking up the inside of Iron Work, not quite able to move through just yet. And has to hang on to the back of his fellow countryman. Holding on there, but not quite able to. The challenge goes 70k. Was the one that fought. So someone go onto the curb. Way difficult on the rejoin there. As Axel has had a send. MCFC has had a send just in behind there. Needs to be careful. There's quite a few license points this season already. We've seen Ultimate Mr. Pearl making it around the outside of James there. All getting very close together. Energetics fast lap of the race. Bosnia is within a second. And that must have been under the VSC. He just had a favourable restart there and got back within. So I'm wondering if they're burning as soon as we get away from this. So we'll have a look. MCFC looking around. But then it's Mr. Pearl around the outside. Not quite able to move through. James looking here as well, but maybe maintaining his position for the time being. So let's go up front. 63% ERS for Bosnia. 87 for Energetics. So Energetics is still in a comfortable position. A bit of a mistake there from Bosnia maybe. He's still vulnerable to being dropped quite early on. We're gonna have to see. Major Falcon putting pressure on João Victor. And Axel's had a moment here. Has he gone round fully? I think he's just gone off track potentially. James is looking all around the Alfa Romeo to try and get through. But he's dropped down to 13th degree because he has another snap there on the exit. James trying to get around him. That's a good move there for the Brits. He's in the P30, he has a big snap himself as well, which allows Axel to come back up down the inside, late on the brakes. James going to be able to switch back here to Red Bull around the outside. No, he's going to have to wait. And dude, maybe onto the straight. Could see another attempt for the Brits to try and get through on the Greek. And on the exit here, as we see MCFC as well getting through on Goshi K. California getting through on Steban. Goes to the UK and MCFC side by side. And I think MCFC has got that, but still some contact there on the exit. Goes to the UK trying to hang around the outside. Not quite able to do that. James has looking still around the outside potentially of Axel. Not quite able to. So it's all a lot of action for a Hungarian Grand Prix. This doesn't seem to happen that much around here. As Bosnia is fully caught up to Energetics. Has Energetics made a mistake potentially? I don't know. Or is he just suffering on those tires now? Maybe. They do tend to overheat a little bit. So yeah, that's what he's struggling with. We'll have to see. Steban is right on the back of California. These two won't let each other go for now, which allows Slayer and Ghost Recon. Ghost Recon's had a very good start here today, being on the softs, up at the P8. We'll have to see as Axel is getting a move on Mr. Purr done into turn 12. Ghost Recon is getting a move done on Slayer. As soon as I move away from them, the action starts. Let's have a look. These two still side by side. Axel, big moment, and it collects Mr. Purro and Axel into the wall. And that brings out a full course safety car. We're going to have to see. It's going to go. Energetic and Bosnia were very close together, I think. But Mr. Purro is obviously into the pits now. And he's going to be able to put on some fresh tires. MCC's got a 3 seconds penalty under the safety car. I don't know how he's managed that. That's on the exit of turn 1. That's quite impressive, I can't lie. But yeah, it's predictably a few guys in the pits. I'm curious what Energetic are going to do. Being on the softs, they have a few more laps in them, but the only thing he could do is maybe try and extend, or you just go for the 2-stop at this point. Fresh tires are so good around here that it could actually work. But we're going to have to see if he's going to take that up that advice, or take the track position, which is especially in Division 4, I can understand that's quite important as well. So let's see what he does. Major Falcon and Ghost Recon being in the same position there. Apologies. And I believe all the medium runners will stay out. I won't see a reason for them to actually pit. Let's see what the McLaren opts to do. As he approaches the pits, I think he's in. Yeah, he's in. Playing a little bit of a game there. Major Falcon coming in as well. And a lot of drivers actually coming in. Steven is coming in from the medium, so is Slayer. And so is MCFC. James had in as well from the hards. Are they trying something different? Major Falcon's gone to hards, Energetic onto medium, Steven onto hards, goes Recon hards, Slayer hards, James had softs. Right, that's a very interesting one for him. He's definitely been watching Division 1, he's definitely been looking at me, trying to gain some positions and ultimately failing, but maybe he's got better faith in himself than he has in me, which wouldn't be too surprising. On those tires, he will be flying. I feel like Energetics has maybe made the right call here, pitting for the mediums. In his position, I think that's what I would do. Whether these guys have made the right call pitting for the hards, well, I guess gonna have to see. At least the fresh tires will be right on the money right now. About the safety car restarts, as long as they can get them up to temperature, it should be all sorted for them. And especially James Head will try to make as many gains as he can to make up for the poor start he had. This also allows the guys at the back that were caught up in the earlier incidents with mainly Sinful and Serial Killer to come back through. So we're going to have to see. if they can continue to make some ground up. And this is where the Bosnia into the race lead currently. Now, I don't know how it's going to go. If he's going to be able to maintain that, we'll have one more lap under safety car conditions, and then we'll go back to racing again. We'll have to see how this, if he can hold on to the lead and maybe grab as much time as he can early on. So as the last drivers are come back to the pack, I think we will go back on the way this lap. Main things to see from here, the hearts could go to the end, but I think towards the end they're gonna be pretty bad. From my experience anyway, the pace on them isn't amazing. They feel quite good, so at least consistency would not be an issue. But the ultimate pace, especially but maybe with another few safety cars on the horizon, this is a track where that can happen. We'll have to see if it pays out for them. As for Energetics, he'll definitely need to make another stop. But I think he's on the right track at least to try and gain some positions early on. Maybe be helped out by the guys that he's going to overtake. So let's see as Bosnia is approaching the sector 3 line. There it is, safety car will be in this lap, and Bosnia can lead the grid. Let's see if we see some typical end of sector restarts here. Let's see, he's giving a 70 km/h pace. Gonna see where he's gonna go. I expect him to just go out of the final corner. It's just the most common and most sensible place to go into the throttle. Obviously no one can overtake before the start finish line. He's gone a little bit earlier, but I think that's not a bad call actually. Joe Victor seemed to be awake, but I think California is called out a little bit more. And Jetix on the fresh tires is more on the back of Ghost in the UK. Using some ERS here. I don't think he's going to be close enough for a move. Joe Victor is looking closer to Bosnia than ever. Goes Recon, Slayer, all close together. Ultimate Mr. Puro getting a move done on Jaff. Jaff is trying to cut back on him, both going side by side down to turn 2. Jaff keeps that position for now. James head around the outside of MCFC, no issues there, as he is up into P11 already, and the softs are working a treat for now, as he's going to get past Slayer as well. Slayer not even fighting that remotely. James getting off track a little bit, but keeps the position. Energetics is very close to the back of Ghost 7 UK. And holding on there to P6. Major Falcon looking good on those hearts currently. 3 tenths behind as well. Goes to the UK, maybe the one circling a little bit more. Obviously, still after the safety car restart, having a full battery again, it's going to help him defend a little bit. And maybe help out Stepan a little bit as well here, backing him up into him. And see if Stepan can make some moves. Bosnia at the front has got a 1.1 second gap. Quite impressive. Having work closer to her, to California here. And as we're seeing, Energetics now on the back of Ghost 70 UK. And I think that is going to be it for him. He should have the better grip down into turn 1. But yes, I got the outside. I think he's going to get that move done though, as it looks just off the better line, and he's up into P5. James Head is in the meantime already up into P11, P9 even. And he's already on the back of Steban. So Softs, he needs to make use of him. He's doing that, just that, but being caught here as a Major Falcon is looking to get past Ghost in the UK, but here it's very difficult to do as they all bunch up down into turn 4. I don't think anyone gets damage from that. Jaff and Mr. Burrow still fighting it out here with Axel as well getting involved. James Head trying down the inside of Steban. Not quite able to move through there as MCFC and Ghost Recon have to go straight on there. He's down at P12 now. I've seen this all bunch up a lot here. Heinewark being pressured by Energetics. Energetics is going to have to move done here down into turn 12, I think. Heinewark doesn't have much to fight with He's trying out around the outside. Keeping enough room for each other to stay alive, but Energetic goes through. So we have more yellow flags. I think about a low moment there. Because Nikkei is going to be under a lot of pressure from 3 cars here. Look at it, it's all bunched up for the last corner. And Major Falcon's going to get through. Steven wants to get through. James wants to get through. How's this going to go down towards turn 1? DRS enabled, not yet this trade though. So seeing a beautiful helicopter shot there. Goes to Nikkei going deep, and he's going to leave the door open. Collects his steam into a little bit. Major Falcon is through. James heads alongside now. James going 2 for 1 here. And I think that is going to be solidified down into here. Steban has gone straight on there. And I might leave him vulnerable to MCFC, who is getting alongside, but Steban with a better exit and might be able to get through now on Ghost of UK, and MCFC is going to look at it, go through as well. As you see yellow flags, I don't know what that's for. Energetics has made a mistake. He is down into P7. That was for him. I don't think he's got any damage looking at it, but having some sort of half spin potentially. Just put him down a few positions. He was up into P4. Aye, that's hurting his progress to a race victory. James heads on the slots, moving through very well. When is he going to make the move on Major Falcon, you think already? He's trying to get underneath, up, round, underneath, wherever he can. Goes Recon and Slayer side by side for P11 here. I think goes Recon is just solidified that around the outside. Bit better grip, looks like. And let's see if James can get more moves done, as he's right on the curb there, so he's lost out actually a little bit. Major Falcon's for Harry Work. James is going to go down the inside. Energetics is looking for it around the outside. All 3 wide into here. A little bit of contact here and there, but looks all clean enough. As James heads and Energetics are all through on Harry Work. Harry Work still on the outside here off turn 2, but backed out of it. I think it's better of it to keep a position for now. All of this is playing in the hands of Bosnia and Joe Victor. They want to get as much time as possible before they end up pitting. But we're going to see if then on the hards they can try and start gaining on these guys again. We'll have to see. James Ed on the softs is still on the back of Major Falcon in California. And we're seeing just how much the tire difference here actually is. Look at this train that's all formed up behind California. California's not a slow guy here. You've seen this. Steven has gone through in Harry Newark. We've seen Major Falcon trying to go through in California into turn 12 with contact here on the inside, and James is smelling his chance as he goes through in California. Can he go through on Major Falcon soon enough as well? He's going to get the DRS here at least. Looking at Energetics going for a move down the inside here. He wants to follow through. Amazing entertainment here. Major Falcon trying to defend, so goes all the way to the inside, goes back to the outside. We're going to see James trying for the move. I think she should be succeeding there with the softs. Is he up into P3? It looks like Major Falcon went a little bit wide into the curb, but helped him actually. He's got a better exit speed. He's going to hold on to the inside here. James is going way around the outside. With the softs, he's just about got enough grip left in the tyre to make that move stick. Up into P3 now, has to hunt down the top 2. So looking at it, goes Recon on the back of Harry Newark here, coming for turn 4, getting very close together there. Greek and American. Another Greek here with Slayer and Mr. Pearl, all on the back of Coast 70 UK. As Mr. Pearl has tried to make a move, I think, of Slayer, but it hasn't worked out quite as well as he wanted to. He's back down to 14th now. Looking up ahead, Steban on the back of California. California is sinking through his tyres completely, getting a time penalty there as well. Steban trying to find a gap, but it's difficult to do. Let's see, down the inside here, turn 13. Dacia's place to try and make a move, and he's going to back out and think better of it. Axel's not doing that, and getting through and goes 70 UK. MCFC made a moment there, and I think he's going to be down into P10 now. Goes Recon, all the fighting going on. Hang on. So Energetics is moving through on Major Falcon. James is trying around the outside of Joe Victor, and I think that should be a move done here as well. And it is. He's up into P2. 3 seconds down to Bosnia. He's going to have to catch up. Both of Romeo's once again in the fight. Goes Recon as May 1, but he's going to try for 2. And he's gone too deep. He's gone absolutely too deep into that, and it's luckily Steban got out of it safely. But yeah, he's He's gone too deep. There's no way that contact was because of Steban turning into him. It looked like that was not the case. So I think the American just went a bit too audacious after he made that move stick quite nicely. But yeah, this time I'd no. He's back down into 14th. Still very close together. You can see it here later. Oh, 18 seconds between them. And that includes Ibo at the back as well. Who's doing a decent job. Slayer and Go 70 UK. So Go 70 UK had a moment there. I think he's gone round. Yep, he's gone round fully. And he's going to be down in last now. He's going to be in the midst of it. And Janus Old Ties is not helping out there. Energetics is going to have to go through on Joe Victor here. Then the inside he goes. I think it's a solid move there from the McLaren. Major Falcon is going to be the one having to try to follow through. Harry Marcus lost a few positions here on the straight. Axel, MCFC all getting very close together once again. This is some outrageously good racing at times. For Division 4. Let's go to the UK and Mr. Burrow both into the pits for new tyres. We should go to the end. Mr. Burrow opting for the mediums. Goes in the UK on the hards. And maybe some clean air they can try and gain back on these guys all at the front. Looking at James Head though, he's gone within a second basically there of Bosnia, but he needs to push on a little bit more. He's got the fresher tyres, so should have the pace advantage, which seems like he does have. Energetics might be better on the mediums currently though, so softs are reaching the end of their lifespan pretty soon. Whether it would be good actually. Major Falcon on the back of João Victor here for P4. And those hearts, he's doing a very good job. Consistent as always, and I mean, I think a pit stop is to be gained for Bosnia, or Bosnia has to go into hards, so we'll have to see, or maybe softs if he feels like it. We'll have to see what he opts for. Major Falcon going around the outside here of João Victor. Not quite able to move through there. Maybe on the exit there as he gets very close with the Brazilian. Looks like he's going to have to wait here a little bit. Looking around the outside of 2, but unless you're very good tires, I don't think that's going to happen. Hero Killer and Jav fighting each other for P14 here. Jav went a little bit off track there. I don't know if there was any contact. I'm going to move back towards the front as these three have all bunched up together. Bosnia, Jameshead and Energetics all for P1 on track here currently. And Major Falcon is being held back a little bit. So, gonna see. Bosnia could help out Major Falcon here quite a bit by just holding these guys back as much as they can while they're still on decent tires. Jameshead is looking for a move though. On second gear, third gear. Where is he gonna go for it? But you'd expect it down the straight at least. A little bit more overcast, but I don't think too much actually. Don't want to get too precarious with saying it's gonna rain or anything, but. You never know. As they head on to the start-finish straight, Joe Victor getting a time penalty on the exit there, I think. James is looking for a move down the inside. Bosnia with a rough defense there. And it's working out quite well. But on the exit, does he have enough grip to hold back the Brit? Yes, he does. So, well done for him. MCFC getting through on California. He's on 16 lap all mediums. James has had a moment though. James has had a moment. He's gone round, coming through turn 2. I don't know if there was contact involved, but it could just be the tyres not wanting to give it anymore what he wants to. And yeah, that not helped him out whatsoever. And then the more I look at it, the more it might make sense that these guys have gone on to hards and there might be some rain on the horizon. We'll have to see. Energetics is now the one on the back of Bosnia though. Let's see if he's going to move through. It has turned a little bit more overcast. And you know, it can go in this game at times, so if I'm talking completely out of my arse, basically, then that's why James is getting a 3-second time penalty as well. Just decided not giving it anymore, I think. I think it's only a matter of time before we'll see him box. So see Bosnia into the pits. I know we're getting a 3-second time penalty, but Bosnia into the pits. Let's see what he goes for. Should be hard, so João Victor's followed him in. Same with James Head. He could maybe go into a set of mediums, which I reckon he would. As for energetics, I'm curious what he's going to do. Coming from the lead of the race. Yeah, the gap could have been bigger if he didn't have that moment. We've seen Bosnia, Joe Victor on hards, James on mediums. No surprise there. So we join in 12, 14, 15. But now we're going to see how good those first tires are. I think if we don't get many safety or anything, we can really see how that's going to go. It's getting a bit more dark. I don't want to say there's going to be rain, but yeah. We'll see. Joe Victor is going to be behind Jav, or both need ahead. Well, California moving through on Axel, maybe making a little bit of a mistake there. Potentially. Slayer's gone straight on for the chicane. Anyways, braking point a little bit. Heinenwerk is right on the back now, and I think with the line Slayer's taken, there's going to be the move for Heinenwerk, and maybe for Ghost Recon as well. But he's going to have to back out just about there. There's not quite a place to dive it, but now here he could. He gets alongside the McLaren. Can stick on board with the American, giving enough space, but has to move complete, and Slayer's not really fighting that much. Let's have a look at Steban, as he's caught up to make a Falcon quite well. Is Steban going to be able to move through? So Joe Victor is fighting Jazz for P13. Let's see, the Brazilian ready outside of turn 13. Surely not, that's a crazy move. Let's see, this Jazz have DRS though, so he might be able, or want to fight back. Knowing Jazz. As Bosti's getting through on Serial Killer. Seeing Jazz down the outside. I don't think he has the grip to fight this at all. But in the back of him a little bit. And I think that's done. Seeing Steban and Major Falcon get very close together. Steban's pace looking very good here. For now. I'm gonna see if he's gonna be able to overtake the Aston. Slayer's back through and goes Recon. Maybe the American making a bit of a mistake, not too sure. He's kept the overtake on through a chicane. Bosnia, but a move Danny instead of Sinful into the chicane. And might need it too. Looking at Steban, he's hounding the back of Major Falcon. He looks the quickest out of these two. The Axel's moving through in California into P5 for a solid race himself. And let me see, what's Energetics' plan? That's my curiosity. He's still gaining on these two, but if Steban gets ahead and has more pace, which he's trying to do now, and should be successful in doing that, in DRS on the second straight here as well, and the Alpine is through here. Did I see some rain? I'm seeing raindrops. There's raindrops already, so that changes the whole complexion of things, and that makes me curious as to why Bosnia and Joe Victor pit. That's a peculiar scenario. I'm a bit confused why these guys pit while there was rain predicted. Maybe it was predicted to be much later, but even then, I don't know. Bosnia has gone through and goes Recon on the fresh tires. He must be gaining a lot now. So we're gonna see, when is it gonna be time for inters, and how long is this gonna stay, and if it even is gonna be inters. I've seen scenarios where it just doesn't get to inters. You just stay with dry tires on a wet track, which is then the quickest. Interesting. Very interesting. Would it be time for inters yet? Energetics says no. Steban says no. And I think it's just a matter of time for someone to pull the trigger as the two people from the Americas are racing each other. Joe Victor getting through and is looking to pour. I think it's only a matter of time before someone goes in. But who's going to be the first? It's Ghost Recon. Ghost Recon is going to decide, yeah, now's the time. And I think he might make the right call here. It's pouring. It's absolutely pouring it down. As it does get a 5-second penalty. So Jaff is in as well. But to me, this looks like it's Inter. And this lap is going to be so difficult for these guys to try and keep it on the road. But this changed the whole complexion of things. Sector 1, we have a spinner, which is Sinful. In turn 1, he's just trying to get it back on track. Thank fuck no safety car. Jaff's gone on to a set of mediums. Well, that's interesting. It's definitely not slicks. I can tell you, this is pure Inter weather. Bosnia is moving through an Iron Wark here. Iron Wark can't have any grip. And all these fresh tires, it looks like Bosnia is on the right path here. Is it meant to maybe dry up again? Is that why these guys have not pitted right away? Or they just not realize that it was going to be that heavy that quick? I don't know. Steban is on a good move. He looks to be a bit more comfortable in these conditions. Energetics is in. Steban is going to be in. Major Falcon is coming in. I think everyone has to come in at this point. MCFC in. Is anyone going to be a daredevil and stay out? Because as much as I'd love to see that more yellows, we've seen Slayer go around, I think. DRS is now disabled, so there's definitely... Bosnia is staying out. I think Matana... Why would he stay out? Is it going to dry back up? That's the only reason why you stay out. Joe Victor is doing the same thing. The TV wants to turn off. Apologies. California is in. Everyone's in. Bar... Ghost 70 UK is also staying out. What in the world are these strategies? The rest of these guys have gone to Inters, which is, I mean, I think the sensible choice. There's a few guys that have tried to stay out, which tells me it's meant to dry back up, like, soon enough. I know that dries can work decently in the wet conditions on this game, but this seems a bit too much. So seeing how much energetics is gaining already, look at the deltas jumping from 2 seconds already to the second down towards the chicane. And Joe Victor is moving through on Bosnia, energetics is already alongside Bosnia, and he's going to easily move through. I think even then, yeah, energetics, good positioning with the car there and moving through nicely. Steban moving through there as well. 1 and 2. Just a matter of these guys trying to get through here. I think it's gone way too hard for anyone to use the drives in a good way. Yeah, we've seen Joe Victor go very deep. Major Falcon is through now as well. Into podium position. Are we going to see these guys in? Bosnia's... Okay, he definitely thinks it's going to dry back up. But even then, you're going to have the worst tires. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it at all, but... Maybe I'm proven wrong. Maybe I'm going to be proven wrong. We're going to have to see. But he's already lost 6.5 seconds to energetics at the front. And he's going off at every single corner. Ghost 70k has given up on us as well. Just seen a few people that have maybe been a bit further back, going to be able to jump up. And that's going to be interesting, because we have a situation where the top 3 is still covered within 3 seconds. And these guys are... We have no clue how they're going to be on pace in the rain. Jaff has also managed to stay out. I suspect nothing less from him, as he's getting passed by Ibo. Yeah, have a look. If these guys have pace in the rain though at the front, as Bosnia is going to be caught here by Axel. He needs to be careful. Being on the worst tire does give him a little bit of a responsibility to not hit anyone, which he is doing there. Iron Wark is also moving through, and yeah, Bosnia. I think you're unless it's completely dry in the next 2 laps, I don't see it happening for you. Yellow flags down the field. Sinful going around in turn 5. Doesn't look like he's hit the wall though. Steban has gained a little bit of time on energetics, so we have about 12 laps to go. There's still plenty of time for Steban to try and take his first victory of the season. But being hounded by Major Falcon, he can't afford too many mistakes. And energetics is still one that he needs to pass. He's lost quite a bit of time there at turn 1. I think he said don't make mistakes, and he made mistakes, so not too sure. Jav's now in the last place. I've seen Bosnia still staying out. I have no clue why. Honest to God, I have no clue. Axel's holding on to 6 just about, with Heinor in the back of him, trying to move through. I'll check the penalties in a second. There's quite a few in the midfield here. So most of these guys are just free. Ghost Recon has 8, Mr. Purr has 8. So keep an eye on that. But that allows Axel to potentially even grab a P5 here. A very difficult Grand Prix. We're going to have to see if he's going to be able to do so. On board with James Head right behind the American of Ghost Recon. Ran a solid race himself, and Serial Killer gets through on Bosnia. I need to stop watching that because that's just going to happen at this point. James, forever on the recovery drive it seems today. And is he going to be able to move through and goes Recon? He's going to try then to turn 12. Not quite though. That's the hold off for another few corners. Maybe then towards turn 1 he has a better chance. So Slayer's actually got through on Serial Killer. Serial Killer almost hit the wall there, I think. Just about kept it out of it. That's quite impressive. So Steven is losing more and more time to make the Falcons win the second, so keep a side eye on that. James has having a big moment there, which is not allowing him to move from Ghost Recon just yet. The American holding on to P8. And doing quite well. Maybe on the exit turn 2 he's got a better chance. But it looks like the American's just a bit more confident in these conditions right now. And holding on to 8th, and more so than that, he's gaining on Harnoark. Now, because Rickon does have another 5 seconds to his name, James doesn't really need to if Ghost is quick enough, but if Ghost is not quick enough, then it's going to be quite difficult. MCFC picking up a time penalty, and he's quietly got himself into P4. 6 seconds to his name though, so that might hamper his chance a little bit at a good result, but if he can keep up the pace decently, he still has a bunch of ERS as well. Use it, I'd say. And he's doing quite well. One of the Haas cars is Jaff, who's still at the mediums. We don't know why. Yeah, that's going to be that for that. And Bosnia is down to P14. I mean, at this point, I guess you might as well firm it, but yeah, it's done. He needs a miracle safety car to score points here today, I think. Or people crashing. So we're going to see if that happens. It doesn't look like it's clearing up anyway as well, so Harnoark is pit. Harnoark is... Why is he pit? He's retired from the session. I'm going to presume there's something else going on, because otherwise there's no reason for him to go. I'll have a quick look in the Division 4 chat if he said anything, but... Yeah, I'm not sure why he's retired. He's in a good scoring position. He's kind of given up on that. Well, we're gonna go back to the front of the race as we see Steven being under a lot of pressure from Major Falcon. There's a full tank of ERS as well. Same with Energetics though. I think Energetics has a good chance of winning this race. That might depend a little bit on how long Steven can hold Major Falcon behind as well. As the Alpine is he's got the track position as he has a big moment there though. But he seems to be circling now a little bit more, and Major Falcon is going to be right in the back of this on the exit here, and I think he has a good chance of overtaking him down to turn 1, gets alongside. Yes, to Martin, and yeah, that should be it. Steven later on the brake, still trying it, bumps into the Aston a little bit there, but the Aston is through, and Major Falcon showing why he's doing what he's doing, and he's into P2. Now it's just a matter of catching Energetics out. We're gonna see if he's gonna be able to do that. 2.4 seconds. We'll have to see. Major Falcon does have clean air now, so who knows what pace he can get out of nowhere. And then the Gravicine goes Rickon, and nearly caught up to his teammates. But James had just on the wheel there, as I'd like to say in one of my other favourite sports cycling. Jav has finally decided to pit for Inters and got a few time penalties to his name now. That was impressive. James had a big moment there. He seems to be quicker than Ghost Recon, but just not able to get through. As it's already a hard enough track to overtake, obviously. I mean, in the wet, I suspect it's even more difficult. Maybe Ghost is running some less wings as well. Who knows? As here's a big moment there, and James smells a chance. Thinks he's gonna go for it. Just about misses out there. Harnoark has left the session of a second gander. But I think James is trying to move through here. So Alex said he had to go. I guess I can understand, but James is right on the back here. Off goes Recon. There's a horrible camera angle. Let's go on board with the red pulled in. And looking then towards turn 1. There's a big send, but yeah, not able to get through. Zoll brought Axel into it as well. Joe Victor's not too far off the back of James here. Bosnia getting a 3-second time penalty as well. To add to his misery. So Major Falcon is I was going to say Energetics is keeping the pace up quite well, but this lap he's lost a good 6 cents, might have made a mistake or something. So that's the ERS to fight the German though, but he needs to use that. And especially in the way, I said, I've just noticed it is kind of drying up. There's no rain anymore. And Sinful is taking the first gamble to start going to the softs. Oh my. So here's a big snap Energetics. Are we gonna see the reverse as we go back onto dries? Potentially. I'm gonna have to see and wait what these guys opt to do. Joe Victor has gone through and James in the meantime. And I think James will be very frustrated seeing that. And Joe Victor potentially moving from goes Recon soon as well. I think it's just a matter of time for someone pits though onto a set of soft, so keep an eye on Sinful if he's gaining anything on potentially Bosnia. It looks like the softs already. I don't know. He's not losing, not massive amount anyway. I mean, on cold tires. Slayer's heard my call, and he's gone in potentially 4 Energetics as well. As Joe Victor had a send on goes Recon, but it's gone way too deep. I missed out completely because of it. James is not able to benefit off of it, but let's have it out. Slayer and also Ghost 70 UK are in for a set of softs, and they're both on. Yeah, they're both going to be on softs, and we're going to have DRS enabled. So I think the game says it's time to go on to softs, and I think it might as well be, but it's going to be difficult to heat up the tires, and I can definitely see someone trying to stay out till the end on the inters, try and gain some positions that way. We're going to have to see. Let's go back towards the front. Let's see if Energetics. Yeah, he does pit. I think Slayers maybe told him as Major Falcon follows him in, so he's not going to take that gamble. Steban might take this gamble. He'd have to do 6 laps on Inter. That'll be very tough. 6 is maybe a slight bit too much. But I think that is his aim to try and set. Otherwise, I don't know why you need not pit right now. I think this is the lap you need to go in. There he goes Recon as he's right behind the teammates. Maybe not pitting. Joe Victor and James in though. And that's not a surprise at all. Let's see what Energetic is going to come out. He's come back onto the track. 15 seconds he needs to gain on Steban. Ghost UK gets P4 for now. He still has a 5 seconds. He might think he might be able to go with that. So a bunch of guys who haven't pit. Actually no, those are just pitting right now. I'm going to see how this pans out. Let's see James come out of the pits as well. Joe Victor. Mr. Burrow. That's Slayer's already passed there. He's going to be 1 to P10. As I'm seeing Joe Victor having a bit of a moment there on the exit. And he takes this gaining, but it takes a while for these softs to heat up. Steven is doing quite well to hold on. Is he going to be able to hold on to this though? I don't think so. He needs to keep just about 2-3 seconds a lap, which I don't see happening if he wants to stay out. And yeah, he's gonna go in. I guess he had a bit of a gap to try and do it. Try and wait a lap extra. Might have some better tires now. Goes Recon. Is he gonna stay out? I mean, in his position, he might as well, but I think he's gonna go in. Yeah, he's another 5 seconds to serve though. So I'll have to see how he holds on, but Energetics inherits the lead back from Steban, who's going to drop down to probably just still P3. He's just lost some time. I guess it would be worth the gamble, maybe trying to see whether it's going to work or not. Because Recon serving a 5 second. MCFC's in P4, then California is going to be Axel in P6 with James and Joe Victor in behind. And I think Ghost Recon is going to fall in the gap between Joe Victor and Slayer here. Yeah, that's exactly the case. I'm going to see, we have about 5 laps remaining, 4.5 for Major Falcon to try and catch and overtake Energetics. So we're going to have to see if he's able to do that and who comes out on top here. It looks like Energetics has, apart from that one mistake, doing a very, very good race. Still has ERS, but so does Major Falcon. So got a full out push towards the end. James is getting another 3-second time penalty. Won't matter too much, but he's not quite gaining now. If he can keep the 3-second gap then to Ghost Recon, he should be alright. 1.4 between these two now. Major Falcon has a task upon his hands, but we'll see if he's going to be able to do it. Steven looks to have solidified P3. I don't think MCFC has no chance really. He needs to get in a good 10 seconds. And Axel's too far away to benefit of these penalties, so let's see how this is going to go down. Joe Victor on the back here of Axel as well. Here, yellow is sector 2. I think that was Serial Killer at the moment. Bit of a moment there for Axel as well. He's trying to defend from the Brazilian. Doesn't really need to do that much, but Joe Victor obviously sometimes has some really good pace, so I guess trying to minimize the time in these games. Bosnia is retired from the session, going out, and we have a safety car, full cost safety car, which is absolutely changing everything here, and he's putting Axel at a potential podium as Jav is retired in the pits at this point. Anyone who've had a penalty is basically in a position that they could maybe even get a podium. Like, one mistake and it's done. Sinful has pit. I think he just about has enough time before he gets lapped to do that. Oh boy. We're gonna have 2 laps of racing because it's gonna go in by the end of lap 33. The game has to do that, so we'll need to see if anyone takes the risk of actually pitting, because I wouldn't do it. I don't think there's any scenario I would do it. But yeah, guys like MCFC, James as well, they're gonna lose out to their pens. That's very unfortunate, but yeah, if you don't get those pens, you should be okay. Jeff Victor is going very slow here. Just adhering to the delta. We should go back on the way at the end of this lap, as yeah, you can see Energetics and Major Falcon are going to be on the end of lap 33. Is anyone trying to go in? I see it happening. I think it's going back in this lap. James had this in. I think he's just losing time for that. He has a 5 seconds as well, speeding into the pits. Which is absolutely unnecessary. I think that's the wrong call. He's going to drop out of the points because of this. But we'll have to see. So these guys have caught up, but there's not going to be that many cars. Maybe down towards Axel that they catch up properly, but beyond that, I don't really know how many drivers. I mean, if Energetics is smart, he's just going to go as soon as he can and trying to get as much as possible. But then again, he could maybe help Slayer. Then again, if he lets exactly Slayer manage to catch up and then doesn't let Sirion go 70 UK. So you see the safety car going in this lap. That was no surprise whatsoever. I'm going to see if he's going to take a quick or slow. It looks to be pretty slow actually here. He's letting a lot of people catch up. Let's see how it's going. He's going to have to defend from Major Falcon and Steban. Let's see, where does he go? 2 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. I think he should go about right now with help of Steam as well. Because the more he lets Cyril and Ghost in the UK catch up, the worse it gets for his teammate. So he's gone just about there. I think Steban is very awake there. They're all trying to get in on this. California is moving through. He's had a great restart. He's already passed MCFC. They're trying to get through. Some damage here and there. I don't know for who though. We've seen a bit of an end-play fly there. I'm not too sure from who. Joe Victor's up into P4. AlphaTauri's moved through. MCFC just in behind in P5, and Axel who's on for his first point of the season here, could actually get a P4 here, should he stick within 3 seconds of these guys and not mess up. 2 laps to go. Esteban trying to defend here from Joe Victor. I don't know how Joe Victor's got alongside there, but Joe Victor has no business in looking down the inside there as Axel's gone through in California. If it was necessary, goes UK through on Mr. Puro. Serial Killers down in P12 and James at P13, looking up the front though. Energetics has had a great restart and he's absolutely pushed it. And he has enough ERS. I think Energetics has got this in the bag, but should he not make any mistakes? We'll have to see though. 75% ERS. He can burn the whole last lap and try and defend. Major Falcon, good final sector here so far though. And he's definitely going to have a go. He's got about equal amount of ERS. So they both are going to have to use it in their advantage or in their defense as we head into the final lap of the race. Let's see who's going to come out on top here. Look like down towards turn 1. Is there any chance for any of these guys to overtake? Steven is right on the back now, but made a bit of a mistake on the exit of turn 1. So he's not got any opportunity here. Still full of each other in the train. Mr. Burrow and Ghost in the UK are fighting each other for P10, a bit outside of that. But goes Recon here and on the back still. So he's actually gone a bit wide there and dropped position to Slayer. Slayer up into P8 on track. The American's still trying to get back through, but that seems a bit futile there for him. They head back towards the front of the race. Energetic still holding on. There doesn't seem to be much of an opportunity for Major Falcon to get through unless the McLaren makes a mistake here. I don't think that's going to happen. It doesn't look like it will. See McLaren 410s going into the final sector. Major Falcon is still trying absolutely everything he can to try and get through. But I think it's done as he let's go a bit deep there. Is it done? Let's see. Major Falcon is still trying it. But we're going to go into the final corner. I think Energetics, should he not have a bad exit, he should be able to win this as he goes across the line. Just about. 210s holds up. And Energetics takes home the Grand Prix victory ahead of Major Falcon. Steban in P3 with a good race. Axel, very good first points finish, you could say, in P4. And now 5th and 6th. Slayer just holds out over Ghost in the UK. Ghost Rican on P9. California P10. Then it's Mr. Puro and Cyril picking up the last points. And James Head and Bosnia are probably the biggest losers here today, as they did not manage to score whatsoever. Sinful and Ibo running up the finishers here, 14th and 15th. Yeah, Bosnia, Jav and Harry Noark all not finishing. And that's a very hectic Hungarian Grand Prix, I'd say. You see the time there in the top right, 52 minutes. A long one as well. Some rain, some safety cars, everything playing into it. And yeah, that's about that. As I've seen the engineers have had some interesting says in this race for a lot of the drivers, which made them maybe a bit vulnerable. But yeah, we're gonna have to see. But they can't really do anything about that. It's on approximate weather. I guess that also plays into it a little bit. But you know, as a driver, you still have to feel out and make the gamble on the call whether you're gonna go for the right tire or not. I respect at least Bosnia for trying what he did, but it seemed a bit futile at the end. Energetics takes home the window ahead of Major Falcon. Energetics going to move up into P2 for that in the championship, but still has a long way to go to catch up to Major Falcon. And Steven P3 Axel is very happy. I saw in the Division 4 chat, which have Victor in 5th. MCFC can be happy with that result as well as Slayer is 7th, and two goes in 8th and 9th. California P10, Mr. Puro P11, and Tyrrell taking home the final point. Out of all these guys, James getting the fastest lap, but unfortunately no points for it. Unless maybe some steward supports, then he could get a few more. But if there's not any, then that's going to be that for me as well. Yeah, Sinful. Evo still finishing, and then Bosnia, Jav, and Aaron Wark all not finishing here. And that's going to be it for me here. BQVR Verstappen. And I'll see you next time out in Zandvoort, which is another very technical track. We're going to have to see how the drivers fare there. But until then, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.